A lot of people think hope is just a personality type. Some people are naturally positive. Some people always expect the worst. And if you are not naturally optimistic, verses about hope can almost feel like pressure. Like the Bible is saying, just be more hopeful, when you are already tired, disappointed, and trying your best to believe. But Romans 15 verse 13 says something much better than that. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope, through the power of the Holy Ghost. Paul writes this near the end of his letter to the Romans. And Romans is not a light letter. Paul has talked about sin, grace, faith, suffering, salvation, and God's promises. He has also been writing to a church with real tensions between Jewish and Gentile believers. So when he gets to this verse, he is not giving a cute inspirational quote. He is praying something deep over people who need help living together, trusting God, and holding on. The first thing to notice is what Paul calls God, the God of hope. That means hope does not start with your mood. It starts with who God is. Hope is not something you have to squeeze out of yourself when life gets hard. It comes from God's character, God's promises, and God's faithfulness. And the word hope here is not wishful thinking. It is not like saying, I hope things work out, while quietly wondering if they will. Biblical hope is more solid than that. It is a confident expectation based on what God has already done and who God has already shown himself to be. That matters, because many people lose hope slowly. Not all at once. Disappointment just starts lowering your expectations. You stop praying boldly. You stop imagining things could change. You tell yourself you are just being realistic, but deep down, you are trying not to be hurt again. Paul does not shame people for that. He does not say, try harder to be hopeful. He prays that the God of hope would fill them with joy and peace in believing. That is the order. God fills. Joy and peace come as we trust him. And then hope begins to overflow. So hope is not the thing you have to bring perfectly to God. Trust is. And even that trust may feel small. Maybe your faith today is not loud or confident. Maybe it is just, Lord, I am still here. I still want to believe. Help me. According to this verse, that is not nothing. Paul says this happens through the power of the Holy Ghost. In other words, real hope is not just positive thinking. It is not pretending everything is fine. It is the Spirit of God strengthening you from the inside, giving you joy that is deeper than your circumstances and peace that can hold you steady while the story is still unfinished. This verse is for the person who wants to hope but feels afraid to. The person who has been let down enough times that expecting good things feels risky. Romans 15 verse 13 reminds us that hope does not depend on having an upbeat personality. It depends on the God who fills empty people, steadies tired hearts, and gives more than we can manufacture on our own. The takeaway, hope is not something you force yourself to feel, it is what starts to overflow when you keep trusting the God who never runs out of it.